So, Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
You won a game.
We beat the Bears.
You did.
You're welcome.
It said final, and your team had the higher score than the other team for the first time this season. How do you feel?
Yep. Good.
Okay.
Conflicted, but good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We might have lost Caleb Williams, but Russell Wilson, top 3 quarterback in the league right now.
Oh God, no! Please don't.
Russ is cooking.
No, please.
Russ is unlimited. Russ is spicy, baby. Russ,
please go back to losing.
He's gonna get Sierra pregnant on top of her pregnancy, double pregnant.
Please. Oh, baby. We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is a G, a P, S. We here.
Yeah, we here.
It's a crazy week, my friend. It is a crazy week of football.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is how last season started too. Where it was like super chaotic. You didn't know. But around like the end of September, things started to normalize a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think normal is coming at all. I walked into last night's game and I was like, this is going to be horrific. This is going to be terrible. And the Chiefs won by 3 points in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, it's wild. I don't even know. I don't even know.
You know, I want us to try and figure out one thing this week we're certain about, and then we'll be proven wrong immediately once the game happens. The Jets, we've said their defense is good, but then after Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they just have not looked like a good football team. And then they put up a fight against Kansas City. And Patrick Mahomes playing like we've never really seen him play before, just not good. I'm not going to go Rodney Harrison here, call a man garbage in primetime recap TV. You know, I would never do such a thing. But Mahomes not playing well, Zach Wilson playing respectable, the Jets still losing, getting screwed by the officials. Kind of a wild finish to football Sunday. But then the Browns get blown out by the Ravens.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson can't go. Who else? The Steelers get blown out as soon as we think, hey, maybe they're figuring it out. Kenny Pickett hurt.
CJ Stroud is him.
Derrick Henry threw more touchdowns than Joe Burrow. And CMP. The Broncos beat the Bears after trailing 28-7.
That's correct, yeah.
I just don't know.
I don't know, buddy. I don't know anymore. Oh, we had a Toy Story game also.
A Toy Story. Yeah, I kicked it off early.
We had a Toy Story game. Yeah, it's a wild time. And I think there's definitely some panicking going on with some franchises, right? And some fan bases that are like, like this is bad. Like we're in trouble here. So we'll kind of talk about that today. There were numerous comebacks that were attempted, at least. Some were successful, looking at Brandon Perna. But I do like why. So like Perna, you're going through that. And you kind of have to expect at this point that the Bears are going to put up points because after what happened last week, right?
Yeah.
They're going to put up some points. And Justin Fields, dude, like, had a day. Like he was
his best day literally ever as a passer.
Literally. So setting records, franchise records, like wild. And then comeback starts to occur. Is it at this point where you're like, listen, we're 0-3. We're starting to make a comeback. Are you on the point where, because you talked about thinking about the draft already, where you're like, okay, if they don't come back, it's not the worst? Or are we not at that point yet?
Yeah. No, I'm like, I'm having to change my expectations, my hopes, and my dreams for my football team every week, Tom. I was battling being a legit fan living in the moment versus being a intelligent thinking into the future about the long-term viability of my franchise and what is best for us through that entire second half, because I really do think the Broncos' best possible plan moving forward is being the worst team in the league and getting Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you have the opportunity to get a player like that, you do it. Everything that the Broncos are struggling with, though, is on the defensive side of the football. Yep. And Russell Wilson is playing very, very good. Now, he played very good against a bad Chicago Bears defense. Sure. So the fact that Russell Wilson is not the problem, and in fact, he's one of the few like bright spots, even through the 70-point blowout, is new. It's new to Broncos fans with Russell Wilson. So yeah, I found myself being okay yesterday if they lost, because they were down so many points to the Bears. Okay. Mm-hmm. Bears. And then they fought their way back in. And based on what happened in the Commanders game, I was prepared to be hurt again. I was prepared for the comeback to fail, but I overestimated Chicago. I overestimated Matt Eberflus for being
defensive genius there. That's why they hired him. Defense.
God. 4th and 1, you go shotgun and you run it from shotgun instead of kicking a field goal, which would have given you the lead, probably taking that game into overtime with, what we're not talking about is what pain were we robbed of as fans by not letting Bears Broncos go into overtime? Like, what could have happened there? Eberflus? What could have happened? So that, and then Fields throws a pick to Kareem Jackson.
Yep.
To end the game. It was a bad throw. It's just what I still don't understand about the Bears is you got Justin Fields, and yeah, he was having a nice day throwing the football, and he had Cole Kmet wide open pretty much all the time. The Bears were gifted a touchdown, but they're still not utilizing Justin Fields and his legs.
No.
Like, I feel like second half, when they needed to slow the game down, keep the Broncos from getting the ball back, they had this great 9.5-minute drive in the third quarter. But after that, there's a strip sack fumble. Like, just run some with Fields. Like, Herbert had a nice day, Khalil Herbert on the ground, but it's like,
yeah,
there's a thing they do really well, and they've kind of forgotten it. And so I feel bad for Bears fans. But now I'm trying to think, like, do I start believing we can turn the season around, Tom? We got the Jets this week.
You do.
So maybe. But the fact that we beat the Bears doesn't give me any confidence at all.
I get you.
I believe in the Broncos offense. I believe Russell Wilson's playing well. But other than that, I don't know if our defensive woes are fixed at all. Nick Bonito had a nice game from the edge. We've got Nick Bonito looked like a viable pass rusher, and because Javonte Williams got hurt, Jaleel McLaughlin, our undrafted running back, got more carries, and he played well. So, again, I'm just confused. I'm happy that we won, but I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, if you are the Broncos, you have the Jets who are coming in, and like Zach Wilson for at least like a quarter looked pretty good. Like he was looking solid, making some throws. Obviously, there's the tension between Sean Payton and Nathaniel Hackett and all that. It's just a weird season, dude, because like the Broncos, there were higher expectations, obviously, after the dumpster fire that was last year, in which the offense was so bad, but the defense, right? The defense was a thing that was keeping you in games. Like, okay, that's something we can hang our hat on. We can build this team around. And now it seems like it's swapped completely, in which Russell Wilson, as you mentioned, is playing well. And the defense is the worst defense in football. Like,
it's the Broncos?
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue they were the most improved defense from week 3 to week 4.
I think that's just because they had 70 scored on them last week, Berna. So that's the point. But you know what I mean? Like,
they are.
Seems it's like, how did this switch happen? And it just, I don't know. It's mind boggling to me. There you have that. You have the Bengals. Like, dude, like they're 1-4. It's panic time. It is full. T. Higgins is hurt. Like, it just seems like this is that weird year where there's a mix of so many injuries. Teams are not being consistent from week to week. And it's just, it's a chaotic time out here.
Yeah. See, this is fair, right? This is fair because in my recap of the game, at the top of the episode, I said, like, Justin Fields had one of his best games ever. Russell Wilson played incredibly well, but nobody's going to really talk about either of those things. And the reason Justin Fields, though, isn't going to get credit for playing very good football. And he was fun to watch. Like, in addition to, he threw 3 touchdowns. One to DJ Moore wasn't really a touchdown, but neither here nor there. There was like 2 throws in that game where I was like, holy smokes. Like, that's an impressive throw, not just for Justin Fields, but for any NFL quarterback. There was a couple tight window. I think one was on the sideline. I was just like, damn, like he can throw the ball. So that narrative is kind of just stupid. But when the team needed him to make a play, he throws a pick to Kareem Jackson. Quarterbacks, you have to be good. You have to be good through the first 3 quarters or whatever. But then there's that next level of when the game is on the line. Are you a QB who can will your team to victory? And I think the Bears as a team make that very, very difficult. But, Fields didn't deliver there. So, I get why he'll still be criticized. I get why, like, Zach Wilson, even though he played better for Zach Wilson, still going to be criticized. I get why Patrick Mahomes is not going to play well, and he probably won't be criticized that much because he's got 2 Super Bowls. He's done it. The guy that really, like, I want to, like, get into this a little more. I need to watch a little bit more, but, like, Justin Herbert is a quarterback every week who his stats are always really good. Whether the Chargers win or lose is kind of like, who knows? He did not have a great statistical game, but like this was one of my favorite Justin Herbert games for the Chargers. Like, he drops a stiff arm in that game, plays through a broken finger on his non-throwing hand. So it's not that impressive, really. Like, what do you even do with that hand? What do you even do with it? Takes a cheap shot out of bounds. It was just like one of those gritty games where he got the piss beat out of him, but he did enough, kept the Chargers in it. So, that's a great mystery. We don't know. I
think it's both. I mean,
it is both.
It's just both. Yeah, I mean, the Chargers is kind of saved again from the incompetence of their opposing team there.
Yeah,
and the Raiders, man, I'm not gonna lie, like. I was rooting for like Aiden O'Connell, and Devontae Adams had that amazing 4th down grab, like sideline grab. And I was like, holy crap, like they're going to go do it. And then a bad interception. And you're just like, oof.
Poor Raiders. Did you see the video of the Raiders fans shouting F McDaniels, fire McDaniels right to Mark Davis? So Mark Davis he's sitting in like a sweet booth thing, but it's like open air and the fans are right below him and they're just like yelling at him to fire Josh McDaniels. And I respect Mark Davis for putting himself out there like that because you don't have to. And he was he was being told what not just Raiders fans, but I think what everybody in the NFL thinks about Josh McDaniels.
Even the Chargers were like, "Hey, man, like, no, like we're in the division, but you got to get rid of him. Like, you guys will be better
take Staley instead."
But yeah, no, I just saw. I don't know, man. Like, I just feel bad for Devontae Adams. I love Devontae Adams so much, man. And like, just to see him in that position, he wants to go play with his friend, and now his friend is no longer on the team. It's not a well-run organization. Like, it's not a good time. Yeah. It's not a good time. So I feel for him. And it was Guillermo's birthday yesterday, so that makes it even worse.
It was Guillermo's birthday yesterday. Look at your steel trap mind.
That's it, baby.
You streamed 2 games and you remember that shit?
Of course I did.
Good God.
Of course.
I don't even remember what happened yesterday outside of the Broncos winning.
The refs didn't have to be a Chiefs fan, but it sure did help. Sure did help.
Yeah. Okay, Kansas City. Can you guys just accept the fact that you have the officials? Like, I'm tired of Chiefs fans trying to defend it. It's a bad look. Embrace it. Be like, look, you got to beat Mahomes. You got to beat the officials. We're unstoppable even when we're bad. Like, you got some calls. Just admit it. Just admit it. That's what bothers me. Just admit it, Kansas City.
Or you just lean into it and create an entire narrative that spans an entire season that the Packers have the refs in their pocket. Like,
Yeah.
Either one. Just got to lean into it. You just got to lean into it.
After the Super Bowl, Kansas City, come on. Come on now. I do. I felt, talk about mixed feelings, Tom.
Yeah.
Watching Sauce Gardner finally get called for holding, but it's against the Chiefs. Oh.
They don't play till tonight. That's why we're not talking about them.
Oh. That's the real problem there. And it happened in the Super Bowl, and it happened in this game where they're talking about they were letting the corners play physical football. They're letting guys touch each other. And then into the game, all of a sudden, refs decide to throw the flag. Negates another, it should have been his 3rd interception from Mahomes, negates what would have been the 3rd pick, because they finally decide to call holding on Sauce. They missed the offensive line, Chiefs O-line holding, right?
On the run.
Big blatant hold there. So, that's two calls, or one call, a non-call going to the side of the Chiefs. And then there's ref gate, right? When the ref threw the flag for the PI. I think we're reaching there, guys. Because the internet's saying the ref didn't throw the flag until he saw the interception. I think he's just a little late getting his flag out. I think that's all that is. But
it's the most wild card division by far. Well, that's the thing, too. I found, and maybe I'm completely off base here, I have found that in really physical games, right, where like it's the CB and it's the wide receiver going at it, right? It's a lot of physicality. I find that if there's no calls throughout the game and they're letting them play, this kind of stuff isn't an issue. Because it's like, you know what? They haven't been calling it all game. And it just comes back down to consistency. Mm-hmm. And again, of course, it's going to be highlighted because it's prime time and it's the Chiefs and it's all this stuff. But like, that's the issue. It comes down to, okay, well, if you're going to call that, well, then we have to start calling that. If you didn't call any of it, then we're rocking. Or you don't, if you call it like very like, oh, that's blatant. But I don't know.
You got to be consistent. It's been our biggest gripe against the officials.
Zach Wilson might play a good game of football. We'll see.
Against the Denver D, people might, people might be believing in Zach Wilson, even if the Jets lose again on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If Justin Fields can throw 4 touchdowns, how many can Zach throw?
Mm-hmm.
18. I did feel like Aaron Rodgers just being there with his father-like mustache. We talk a lot about Zach Wilson and moms, but I think he's just been missing that father figure in his life. And Aaron Rodgers, it felt like it. It felt like Zach appreciated what Rodgers has done for him. And that's been like having a guy in his corner. It's been a guy who's defended him publicly, a guy who's actually mentoring him. And with Rodgers there, it felt like Zach was digging in and trying to show Rodgers like he's getting a little bit better. And unfortunately, the Jets lost.
And they showed that on the broadcast that at the end, like Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, like two former Packers, obviously close to Aaron Rodgers, like talking to Zach Wilson and being like, hey, like it's all good. Like that, I don't know, like that's what you need to do, right? Especially like Zach Wilson gets a ton of crap from everybody because he top 5 pick, right? Has not lived up to that potential at all, got replaced multiple times. He's not that guy. He hasn't developed into what they want him to develop in. That doesn't mean that it's just like crap all over him until Trevor Siemian comes in. And I don't know. Like, I like that approach where it's like, hey, like, you know what? Like he had a decent game. He played well. He had 2 nice touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So
no, he's still not perfect. There's still a lot of room to get better. And he's been very bad as an NFL QB. But like we saw with Russell Wilson last year, there's a line. You can criticize the guy for playing poorly. All of that's fair game. But then every year it's going to be a different guy or two. It just goes into these weirdly personal sort of attacks. And it goes from being kind of like having fun with it to like, oh, yeah, Rodney Harrison's calling him garbage on television as like a former professional football player. Yeah, like both guys, like give him, you don't have to say he's good, but you don't need to be a dick. And maybe I'm a little sensitive to it because it took, the Broncos 15, 16 weeks last year before a single player defended Russell Wilson publicly.
Yeah.
Because they were probably scared to be the guy sticking their neck out for Russ in a time where like the only cool thing to do was talk about how terrible Russell Wilson was. So yeah, you love to see all of that shit from the Jets, from the leaders on their team. And it's when a guy needs it the most that I think it means the most coming from your teammates. Doesn't mean like you're saying he's going to save your franchise or he is the guy. And trust me, I'd love to see Trevor Siemian come out and deal for the Jets because I respect him. But yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah,
but Jets. It was a moral victory last night, though, huh? Aaron Rodgers came crutching in pretty fast, Tom.
Yeah, he did. I was like, ooh.
I almost expect like the pro wrestling move where he just
welcome to villainy.
He's like wheeled in on a freaking hospital bed, and then he just jumps out ready to play 6 weeks before he's supposed to. Yeah, Harrison Smith had a game.
Khalil Mack had 6 sacks. 6.
Thank you, Khalil.
Yeah. 6.
He, because Khalil famously catapulted to the national attention when he sacked the Broncos 5 times in one game.
Mm-hmm.
Sacked old Peyton Manning 5 times. We had poor old Michael Schofield trying to block him.
Prison break.
Yeah. So he topped his 5-sack performance against his old team too. Poetic.
Right. I do want to talk about something that I think is pretty important because as we all know, you have some favor with the Buffalo Bills, right? You're a big Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh my God. I know what you're, I think I know.
Bills are literally like the older brother of the Broncos. And every time the Broncos lose, they just run to the Bills and they're like, he beat me up. And the Bills just take care of him.
Are you reading my winners and losers script, Tom?
Yes. So
is Johnny just sharing that with you?
Oh, he's right there. No. I thought that was a joke. No. But Raiders kick their ass, right? The Dolphins, and they beat you up and they beat you up bad. They beat you up real. Oh, Commanders, right? And then, of course, the Dolphins. One of the most surprising outcomes, because I was streaming that game while you were streaming the Garbage Bowl. Yeah. And, dude, for the first, 4 series, it were all touchdowns. It was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I was like, oh, here we go. And then it just, Armstead got hurt. It really didn't look good. So that the pressure on Tua got to be a bit much. They kind of got away from running the football. And Buffalo kicked Miami's ass.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, kudos to the Bills, because all the talk heading into this week was about Miami, their offense, 70 points, all this stuff. They scored 20, and almost every drive, the Bills were successful. Like, they looked real good.
No, it's awesome, obviously, to have the Bills beat every team that the Broncos lose to this season. And I'm wondering, like, has that ever happened where one team has played another team's exact opponent for the first
it's weird.
3 of the first 4 weeks of the season, right? Because it literally was the Raiders the next week, the Commanders the next week, and the Dolphins the next week. Do the Bills play the Bears this week?
I don't believe so. I don't think so.
Like that can't happen a lot. So the revenge tour for Buffalo, very much appreciated.
Like Jacksonville.
Okay. And Josh Allen was perfect. I believe he finished with the perfect passer rating. And I think that's impressive to do against a Fangio coach defense. And I think the Dolphins defense has a ways to go, but like nothing fazed Buffalo. Nothing. And they got to Tua. They are the first team to like get pressure on Tua this season.
Correct.
What I'm worried about now for the Bills, it's like bad loss week 1, right? To the Jets.
Yep.
We get to avenge the Bills this week. That's right. We can beat the Jets for the Bills to return the favor.
That's not happening.
But just like this feels scary for Buffalo, because as soon as everything starts to click, Trey White goes down, Miami. Achilles injury. And I'm just like, shit, because he was just getting right. He was starting to be Trey White before his last injury. And now they got to deal with another injury.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Von Miller's, I think he's returning to practice this week. So they're going to get one guy back. But like, damn, I would have liked to see a healthy Bills defense through this season. And I think Trey White would have been a big part of their success, you know, if and when they get to the postseason. So that sucks.
I agree. Yeah, no, I mean, and it got hurt last year too. Like, it's just, he's a fan favorite, like in Buffalo, and for him to go down too, like, and they were kicking ass, but
yeah,
that's just, I mean, the good news is Von Miller, like when he returns to that lineup, considering how good they've already been on defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying. Just saying. So that could be a lot of fun. But the Bills right now, like, they impressed the hell out of me yesterday.
Here's a hot take. Are the Miami Dolphins actually worse with Jalen Waddle on the field?
That's true. What are you doing, Brandon? What? They score 70 without him. They only score 20 with him.
Maybe Waddle for Jonathan Taylor and draft picks wasn't so crazy. Maybe the Dolphins were the ones trying to take advantage in that situation. Oh, yeah. Also, Achan. Devin Achan.
Achan?
Devin Achan. I got accused of collusion in my fantasy leagues for accepting Achan. 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
We'll talk about them.
Suck it. I saw talent.
I drafted in one of my leagues too.
Yeah. You want to know what I actually need help with, though, Tom?
What do you need help with? I mean, that's a loaded question, Brandon. I don't know if as a medical, I'm not a medical professional. Like, I don't know if I
Anal fissures.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding. I need help creating my first winning pick'em, Tom. I still have yet to win a single pick'em with our great friends over at Underdog Fantasy, who, until October 4th, just a couple days left, they're matching your first deposit up to $500 only with our code GPS.
CJ
Link
Stroud,
in the description. Code GPS at Underdog Fantasy. Again, I've yet to hit on a single pick'em.
Sexy disclaimer.
We tried. I've had you help me. I've had Will help me.
How close were you on the last one?
All you guys suck. What?
How close were you on the last one?
Not close, man. Let me see. I think I got 4 out of 5 wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
Let me see here. Yeah, for Sunday, my $100 one. Wrong on Baker, wrong on Raheem Mostert, wrong on Lamar, wrong on Waddle, correct on Joe Mixon. My only safe bet was knowing Joe Mixon wasn't going to get the fantasy point total. So, dear God, chat, Tom, please help me get the correct picks for tonight's game. I think Geno Smith for new customers is the player bonus. I already used mine, so I don't think that applies to me right now. But look, we got Geno Smith, we got Dan Jones, we got Kenneth Walker, DK, Darren Waller, Breida, Lockett.
I think Jim B's correct here. I think whatever you think, Brandon, like let's just go opposite.
I got to Costanza it.
Let's just go opposite.
Okay, I'm gonna go opposite of everything I think.
Yep.
Okay, then I'm going lower. I'm going lower. I'm going higher. I'm going higher. That would be the opposite of what I think.
Just go then. Just go.
All right, here we go. 50. $50.
25.
Oh wait, opposite of what I feel? 100.
Oh my Brandon.
All right, here we go, Underdog. Yeah!
I'm gonna put the disclaimer up again just because I feel like I need to.
All right, that's my opposite picks going against the grain. It's the summer of George, baby.
Yep. I'm gonna.
And if you messed up your Best Ball Mania tournament this summer, they've got the Resurrection League.
It's not even Easter.
Your Best Ball Resurrection. 300,000 in total prizes, 30,000 to first place. If maybe you took Aaron Rodgers, Nick Chubb, and you're like, oh God, it's over. Go fix it. Link our code. Boom.
There you go.
If I win tonight, we're doing that every time.
Oh, good God. Yep. Okay. I want to talk about a few games that are really interesting to me. I think it's time that we really talk about the Texans because I've been following CJ Stroud for the past few weeks, been shouting him out because he's been playing really, really well. They beat the pants off the Steelers yesterday. They look good. True. And CJ Stroud legitimately is looking better every single week. I think I don't know if he came back. It was in the chat that they lost into their O-lineman. I don't know if it was serious though. And their O-line is still not at full strength. But CJ Stroud, I will say, looks like the most complete rookie right now. And Bryce has flashes, definitely. Anthony Richardson, right? They started to come back, or they did come back, I should say. But CJ Stroud just looks good. And he's not on a team with a ton of support right now.
No, it's Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Comparing both of them, it's very equal right now in terms of, I feel like, what they're working with. In terms of, it's specifically receiving talent. We're talking about receiving talent. But yeah, CJ's doing the most by far, I think. And Anthony Richardson played well. He just got Nakua'd.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson just got Nakua'd. But CJ Stroud, it's really a fun example of how tricky drafting that quarterback is, man.
Yeah.
Because we laughed at the Texans. We all laughed at them for falling to number 2 and not controlling who they were going to take. Even if they ended up taking CJ, even if their evaluators were like, this is the guy we actually want, had they had the number 1 pick, he looks like the most NFL ready.
Interventions don't work for Brandon. They don't work.
What's more impressive? Looking like the best quarterback playing for the Texans, or looking like the best quarterback as an Ohio State QB?
That's the question. But I just feel like the Texans are a team that are not talked about a lot. right? And it was especially like after like Deshaun Watson left and all that. With the Texans, it kind of been ignored. And like, no, like I want to shout them out. Like CJ Stroud looks like that guy. I love the D'Amico Ryans. Like that pick seems to be working out real well. Damian Pierce got more involved. Like, yeah, they're looking pretty good. So I don't know if they're gonna do anything, but that whole division, as someone mentioned before, is 2-2. The whole division is 2-2, and it's wide open. Like the Jaguars got the win, and like they looked a little better, but I'm still not sold. And they're playing the Bills, so like on Sunday, like that's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, let's just be honest. Like CJ Stroud over the last like couple weeks has looked a lot better than Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence didn't look too bad yesterday, but I mean, he's throwing like 1,200 yards. Like he's airing it out right now. So I'm just saying, I like what the Texans are doing right now, and I think that they're a couple of drafts away from being like, oh, like here are the Texans. If they continue to develop Stroud, they get some more weapons, all that great stuff.
And what's impressive about this weekend for CJ is he did it against the Steelers in their defense. We all know there's huge question marks around the Steelers offense, but
oh my God, yes.
Their defense has been very good. It almost always is, but it's been very good this year. TJ Watt's wrecked games. Alex Highsmith has wrecked games. And Stroud, he dealt against a very good defense. And that's like really, when you're talking about young QB development, there's the two things, right, Tom? Like if a young quarterback is playing well early, it's like, well, we'll just wait till defenses get tape on him, right?
Sure.
They've got enough tape on him. Wait till he plays a respectable defense. He just did. And he's just gotten better, a little bit better every week. And if the Texans now, if they have, a solid offseason, another good draft, like they're going to be a very dangerous team because on top of all that, D'Amico Ryans proving to be a great hire, which I think almost everybody thought.
Correct.
I wanted D'Amico Ryans more than Sean Payton. But D'Amico Ryans, when the Broncos call, he said, fuck off. I don't even want to see you.
He knew.
I don't want to talk to you. And Denver made like an extra effort to try and interview him. And he was still like, no, thank you. He knew what was coming. Yep. So, and they just mentioned OC Slowick. The one thing I was like concerned about with the Texans is they're taking a chance on the OC who I felt like didn't have a ton of experience, and they're doing it all right. So,
yeah, apparently Chase Claypool was asked to stay home.
Yeah,
it's
the Bears were better without Chase Claypool.
But I mean, and they gave up the 32nd overall pick. So
I know they could have had Joey Porter.
Thank you, Bears. Thank you, Bears, because you saved the Packers from making that dumbass trade.
Yeah, they could have had a corner, which I'm assuming they need.
So just saying. I want to talk about Brandon. I want to just ask you straight up. And I don't want you to look at anything. I just want to get your like reaction because I don't know. Mm-hmm. Are the Titans good? I don't know, Brandon. They are the weirdest team.
That's good.
Like they suck, and then they play the Bengals.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, never mind.
What was that meme where it was like a color, a golden color or something, and you saw it as like gold or blue?
Oh, blue and gold, the dress.
Blue and gold. The dress. That's the Titans.
That is the Titans.
Good. Like, you can look at them and be like, that team sucks. You'd be like, this team's actually really good. And I think both people are right.
Yeah, dude. And that's why if you're a Bengals fan, like, yeah, it's time to panic. Can they come back from, this start?
No,
absolutely.
Can't.
But
I don't think the Bengals can. I'm out.
Dude, it's rough now. It is like, it's not good. Nice.
Hell yeah, Adam.
Legitimately, their offense, the Bengals offense looks bad, but Derrick Henry got involved again. Like he started looking good.
It's pretty simple for Tennessee. It's like if Derrick Henry gets over 100 yards, they're a good football team. If he doesn't, they're a terrible football team. Tannehill played better, but the Bengals offense is it's dead. Like, it's bad. I don't know if it's just because Joe Burrow is rich or injured or what right now, Tom. I don't know.
He's rich.
Yeah, you get paid, man.
And that's it.
I would be the Joe Burrow of NFL QBs, just to be fair.
Yep.
I would overperform in a contract year, and then you would never fucking see me again, baby. I would be the Albert Hainsworth of NFL quarterbacks. But like, I mean, if you got Jamar Chase kind of going off a little bit after the game, when they asked him if he's open, he's like, "I'm effing open every play." Pardon my Skyline chili. Like, you know, all ain't right in Cincinnati, and I don't know why. Is Joe Burrow? I feel like I want to say it's just because he's not healthy. Like, I want to believe he will get it right.
He is hurt, but that's not all the issues.
No,
it's not. You can't look at yesterday's game and be like, oh, yeah, it's just because he's not healthy. It's not. I mean, they haven't looked right all season. And again, you could look at it and just be like, okay, the health of Burrow and stuff like that. But at least they looked like okay against the Rams. They did enough to win the game.
But even before this game, we talked about it here, like going against the Titans defensive front.
Yep.
We felt like that was a mismatch for the Bengals and that they weren't going to like rectify themselves this week. Like this was a bad matchup. And sometimes early in seasons, especially if your quarterback's a little hurt, I feel like it's been a lot of bad matchups for the Bengals. And again, you're not running the football well and your quarterback's hurt.
Mixon did okay, but Burrow was getting beat up too. He got sacked a few times. He got hit a bunch. Yeah, it's just weird, man. They're weird.
Is not okay. 67 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's to say, a little bit of a better day, like a little bit.
He needs to be like, they need him to be like, I don't know, Derrick Henry. Be like Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, listen. They just need to figure it the F out. And I don't know if they're going to have the time to do that. I don't. Now, the good news is for the Bengals, the AFC North is weird. Like it's not a great division. Chandler Jones got released. We'll talk about that. But yeah, the AFC North, the Ravens right now are looking like the best team, but they're still dealing with injuries. And there's still like some questions about them too. But
yeah. It was a good win for Baltimore. They were, they were gifted some nice field position because of Dorian Robinson's picks.
DTR didn't look too great, which is sad. I wanted him to do well.
I think we're all rooting for that. But the Ravens had a couple nice drives in that game, really nice drives in that game. Lamar had a few great throws, rushed for a touchdown, but most importantly, you know who looked good in that game, Tom?
Tell me.
Melvin Gordon.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Melvin Gordon. 2 big plays from Melvin. 0 fumbles, by the way. So,
just crushing it.
He's going to earn their trust. And then he's going to break their heart.
Sorry. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds accurate.
I was watching like the Ravens Browns highlights this morning, and there was just like I don't know if it was a run or a pass, but Melvin Gordon was like this close to scoring, and I had no idea that was even Melvin Gordon. And like Melvin Gordon, I was like, oh yeah, Melvin's back out there. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for his resurrection tour. Hated the fumbles, but I liked Melvin Gordon.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Don't worry. He'll bite you.
No, he fumbled. He literally fumbled his way out of Denver.
That's correct. Yeah.
He was a huge problem when everything was going wrong on top of it. So.
Yeah, it just exacerbated the issue.
Let me have some fun.
Commanders, Eagles?
I think my take is the Eagles aren't as good as they should be right now. People want to spin it that the Commanders are better, but after Buffalo destroyed the Commanders, I think the Eagles got some things to figure out.
Listen, also, like, again, the offensive line, I think Sam Howell got sacked like 5 times.
Much improved.
Yeah, he's getting destroyed. But
yeah, I called Marvin Mims Melvin Mims in the game.
Nice.
I even tweeted it. Then I was like, oh my God.
What happens? It's okay. It's okay.
I got
Howell threw for nearly 300 yards. Like he looked pretty, and he does not have the greatest circumstances with that O line. Like it's not good, but it's Scary Terry, who legitimately is one of my favorite wide receivers in this entire league. Philly, someone explained this yesterday, and I thought that this was like a nice explanation. Like the Eagles have like insane athletes on their team on both sides of the ball, right? Like AJ Brown, dominant. Jalen Hurts is good. It's just like there's a lack of like cohesiveness right now of like putting it together that they should be better than how they're playing. And listen, at the end of the day, they're undefeated still, right? That's the most important thing. This is what this early part of the season is for. If you asked any team at the end of September, hey, would you like to have no losses? They're all going to say yes. It's just like, I agree. They should look better than they do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, AJ Brown went off in that game.
Yes.
175 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the Eagles, like, they didn't run the ball as well as they normally do, but they were having success passing it. But it just, to me, it feels like the Eagles are the best when they are running at will. And I think maybe that's the Commanders are a tough team to do that against. And it's not like a knock on Philly. It's a division game. I don't think the Commanders are as bad as they played last week against Buffalo.
Commanders also beat them when they were undefeated last year too. So
yeah,
it's weird.
It's one of those things. But last year the Eagles just kind of looked unstoppable, and this year they seem a little bit more beatable, as they are undefeated. Which is like, I would kill to be in that position.
Different schedule, like different opponents, different year. Yeah. Like there's a lot of reasons why, but yeah, it is. But at the end of the day, like the Eagles, I think, are going to be fine because they have so much talent on that team. If this is like an issue, I don't know, like in November, then maybe we go, okay, like this is something to worry about for the postseason. But right now, I mean, hats off to the Commanders, man. Like they played their ass off. Like they really did. Like Howell looked good. You know, he's getting beat up back there, and that O-line is going to keep them from being contenders this year. But
yeah,
they just need an O-line. They do.
I think like for the Eagles, like if you're wanting to think about it in the most positive way, it's beneficial to play these kind of close games and still get the wins. Like I feel like that's one of those things that kind of benefits teams come postseason. Even when you're really good, as soon as the postseason hits, you're not walking through anybody, and you've got to figure out how to win close games. And this was one of those. Even though their defense kind of let Washington get back in it there, but
the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, dude.
Like Christian McCaffrey,
like just
it's not catching on, but I'm trying to make it stick.
It's like fetch. Yeah, he's just insane, man. Like he is so damn good. It's scary. Like I've been waiting to see like Christian McCaffrey full season with the 49ers ever since last year. I'm like, all right, let's see it. And good God, great. And that's not even to like talk like the Cardinals. They played pretty tough. You know, they didn't win, but like there was a point like in that game where it was close.
Yeah.
So like they kind of came back or whatever in like the third quarter, they scored again. And then the last quarter, the 49ers scored the last 2 tutties to kind of pull it away. But Josh Dobbs like had a solid game, you know, again, you find yourself rooting for him. But Brock Purdy was incredible yesterday. There's in terms of accuracy, because he got crapped on a lot for that Thursday game. Right, that he like against the Giants, like, oh, he didn't like look so great. Yesterday, 20 for 21, 283 yards, 1 tutty. Like he looked
1 incompletion.
One. That's like just
honestly though
against the Broncos.
Honestly, throwing 20 completions, only having 1 incompletion, and not breaking 300 passing yards, fraud. More like fraud Purdy, Tom. Fraud Purdy. 283 yards and 1 incompletion. What are you, Kirk Cousins, Brock?
So yeah, the 49ers are a really good football team.
Yeah, no, they're good.
They're a very, very good football team. And the Cardinals, again, chippy. Like they are not an easy win. Like you go and you play them, they're they're going to slap you in the mouth a little bit. And the team that lost to them last week, the Cowboys, they had a much needed game against the Patriots. And it looked like all was well in Dallas. As for New England,
yeah, it was like one of Belichick's worst defeats. The one last thing about the Niners, like they still haven't had their offense. They're winning all these games. Christian McCaffrey's insane. And they still haven't had a game where like George Kittle's gone off.
Yeah.
He's just waiting. I'm just waiting for like a 190-yard, 3-touchdown game from George Kittle because it's going to happen. Like it's just like one different receiver is featured every week with the 49ers. And they use Kittle so much like in the blocking game. He's part of the reason their run game is so successful. Debo's hurt right now. So, they're not at full strength yet either on offense. They could be fun. Cowboys? Yeah. You got to feel good if you're a Cowboys fan and you effectively, force Belichick to throw in Bailey Zappi because there's no reason to have Mac Jones out there anymore. It means your defense is playing lights out again. Deron Bland had 2 picks and a pick 6 in that game?
Yeah, 2 picks, yeah.
So,
it's trouble time. But here's the problem, like with the Patriots, because the NFL bought into them. They believed it. They believed all the hype. Anyway, I'm a little bit conflicted. Did Mac Jones have a good game? Absolutely not. Like he did not look good. Out of the 2 interceptions, right? He went 12 for 21, like 150 yards. At the same time, that Patriots offense is doing him 0 favors. Like 0. And I'm not trying to skip by here and say Mac Jones is good. What I am trying to say, though, is that the O-line is not good. He has 0 weapons. And for the first time that I can remember in like a while, the Patriots have 0 run game. They have no run game whatsoever. And I think that's the bigger surprise. Because even like Ramondre Stevenson, right? They're like, oh, he's gonna be great this year. Like he's gonna get a ton. Dude, like their defense is solid. Defense is always gonna be solid because they invested so much in that. And what they didn't invest in the offense, Tom Brady usually made up for. Right? They didn't need to have the greatest O-line ever because like he get the ball out super duper quick. And even then he still had decent O-lines most of the time. But it's just this method, like you need a different kind of QB, I think, to either operate in the shell of that offense right now, or you need to actually get them some support. Like you need to get offensive line, like definitely need him to be protected. But then, dude, like they have no wide receivers. They don't. Like they don't have a true weapon at wide receiver.
What are you talking about?
They don't.
Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne, Devontae Parker,
like they're solid.
Juju Smith-Schuster,
but dude, they like it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not good.
I kind of wish DeAndre Hopkins went there, and
just because
it was still that was still the narrative too. It's just like they have no play breakers. You know what I mean? They got guys who can catch footballs, but not turn it into anything. And I watched the Broncos early struggle with that, but we got Marvin Mims now who breaks shit open. He had 1 reception in the Bears game, and it was just like a 45, 48-yarder at the end of the game, which put the Broncos in field goal range. Like, you need a guy, even if he's quiet all game, but can give you that one big play to, like, flip a game for you. Yeah, you're right. Patriots don't have that guy at all in the receiving game.
I mean, like, because they drafted Tyquan Thornton, right? I know he's been, like, dealing with, like, injury crap. But, like, he's the speedster, right? To, like, stretch the field and all that. They need, like, a DeAndre Hopkins or, like, they need, like, I mean, everyone could use a Justin Jefferson. But you know what I mean? Like, they could use, if he winds up getting traded, I know he's injured right now. If he winds up, like, just not being on the team next year or what have you, like, just because contract or whatever. Like, if T. Higgins becomes available, Patriots should be, like, the first one to make that call. Like, yep. Like, he'll be our wide receiver 1. Like, come on over, and we can rock.
Yeah.
So
I think the last 2 things we haven't talked about. 1, the Vikings got their win.
They didn't look good to the beginning, too. They did not look good at the beginning.
No, and Kirk Cousins did not play well, but they won. So, like, I don't want to be a Vikings fan where I have to watch Kirk Cousins play out of his mind and lose, or watch him play terrible and win. That's not a fun choice to make every week, but that's what you got to think about, Minnesota. And Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield. They beat New Orleans without Derek Carr, or with Derek Carr, who was hurt. I don't even freaking know at this point. But, Baker, 3 touchdown passes in this game.
Real quick. I want to talk about the Panthers, actually, really quick.
Sure.
Okay. Have you watched, like, any Panthers stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. I, sat down and watched some... I was up until about 3:30 last night, and at one point I was like, I'm going to watch some Panthers stuff because I want to go back. Let's talk about Icky for, a hot second. Dude, he looks horrible. He was good last year. Especially that midseason, he started coming along and he was aggressive and stuff. I don't know if it's just the entire O-line. I know Bryce got sacked 5 times yesterday, but I know it's not a big story, but dude, the regression is real. And I don't know if it's just the scheme. I don't know what's going on with him, but that O-line is not helping Bryce Young in any way, shape, or form. And it was surprising to me because loved him coming out of college, right? Consensus, top 10 pick. Yeah. And then just, he has not been playing well. So I'm very interested to see, because I knew that their offensive line issues weren't going to be solved just by drafting him. But
do you think Frank Reich told them to play worse?
Dude, Frank Reich, something needs to happen with play calling, because it's not good. It's bad, man.
You know who the Panthers could really use right now is the guy who scored 4 touchdowns last week, and Christian McCaffrey.
They could also use, an offense that puts up more points than their defense.
Yeah. We don't give the Panthers enough shit for trading away Christian McCaffrey. They get a pass because they it was like they did him a favor. They sent him to a good team. Yeah. That was nice of them. They got, good comp for him. Stupid. What has he done since then? Just been the best running back in the league, basically.
But he wouldn't have been that for the
Panthers. Don't care. He would have been better than what they got right now.
Dude,
he might be the difference between a win or two this season.
That
he might be helping your young QB. No, don't give him a pass, Tom. They don't.
I'm giving him a pass, dude. Because it's you're not. What are you going to do with him? You might as well get some value out of him now. You guys aren't making the playoffs right now.
You could be winning you football games with Bryce Young.
I don't know if they are. I don't buying that offensive line, dude. I don't know if they are. I don't. I mean, would he help the team? Of course, Christian McCaffrey. But he's also buying that garbage O-line, so you don't even know if he's going to be looking.
Maybe the O-line looks better if Christian McCaffrey's there. Screen pass. You don't got to even. Icky don't even need to block on a screen. The whole point is to not block.
That's not.
You chip the guy, you let him go, you set up your next block.
Well, they still have to block.
It was a stupid move.
Different block.
Hate it for the Panthers. Love it.
I mean, again, it makes sense they have no offense, though, because they got rid of DJ Moore. They got rid of CMC, right? And they replaced it with Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
So
I get you had to. They don't even think they had to give up DJ Moore to get that pick.
Well, the Bears demanded that. They were like that. They wanted to kick the wheels on Brian Burns, and they were like, definitely not. Definitely not.
No, I know, but I'm saying I bet if they just stuck to their guns, they could have been fine.
So, I'm sorry. I just want to talk about the Panthers for a hot second. All right, so the Saints. Pete Carmichael is public enemy number 1 for the Saints right now.
You made my point. Thank you. You would be better with Christian McCaffrey, is what you're saying.
He's not good. Their offensive coordinator is
who?
Bad. Pete Carmichael, their offensive coordinator for the Saints.
Oh,
it's not. And I know Derek Carr coming in, he's obviously banged up a bit, but it's just the play calling's so boring, man. It's so unimaginative. It's not good. And Tampa has a good defense. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. You know what my favorite stat of the week is, Tom?
You tell me, buddy.
Alvin Kamara had 13 receptions for 33 receiving yards. That's the lowest amount of receiving yards for somebody to have 13 receptions.
That's a lot of
NFL history. The previous low was 71 yards.
That's a lot of receptions.
That's just a lot of you're not setting up your screens. You're checking down your running back, and it's just not going anywhere. I don't know, man. But it's probably a the microcosm of why their offense is not good.
Right the offense. I mean, yesterday was just pitiful. It was bad. Baker Mayfield played well. It was just a really bad performance on the offense. It was ugly. That's how you know it is not good over on the same. I mean, even Chris Olave, dude, 1 reception, 4 yards. And I watched some of that. There's things he's just jogging. And I get it, right? If you are one of these guys and you're in a situation, you're damn, I am better than the offense I'm on right now, or I'm better than the team I'm on. I get it. But at some point, it's hey, man, you got to try. You got to go out there and try. I don't know. But Pete Carmichael, he's not making any friends there in New Orleans whatsoever. So, tonight you got the Seahawks and you got the Giants. That will be a time. That will be a game. I don't know
it's either going to be a good game or the Giants are going to look horrible again. I just don't know yet about New York. To me, it feels like New York and Seattle are going to match up well against each other, and it's going to be kind of one of those ugly games. But
when they played last year, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a time.
Yeah. Saquon Barkley, he's out, right? He's still out?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he's not playing.
Yeah. That's what happens. High ankle sprains, guys. They take a while. To heal.
Well, Perna, what do you got coming out today, buddy? Winners and losers?
No, that comes out on Tuesday mornings now because I'm waiting for Monday Night Football to finish. I'll be writing it. So I don't know if I'll have anything.
I would. Okay. All right. Taking a breather?
No, I mean, I'll be writing and working all day, but I don't know if you won't see any results from my work today.
By the way, so you're not trending on the normal YouTube page, but you're trending on the gaming tab.
I'm on gaming?
Yeah.
Weird. Weird. I was curious to see how the new worst would do since the Broncos won.
Yeah.
But I doing pretty well still.
Just not on the Bills.
Yeah.
No, we mentioned Puka. I mean, listen, Puka's a monster.
Oh, yeah, we didn't really talk about that game, but he's leading all receivers ever right now through 4 games for most receptions.
Dude, it's wild.
Walk-off, game-winning touchdown for the Rams. Colts fought back into it. Anthony Richardson, a couple touchdowns in that game.
Right there, Brandon.
Look at me.
Under gaming.
Wow.
I don't know why, but...
Yeah, I didn't select gaming.
You're a gamer now. Go out there and play.
I didn't even put I didn't say Madden in the thing. Weird. I think if you say Madden in a video, you just get thrown into gaming.
They just throw you into gaming. They're like, all right, we're assuming this is what this is.
Yeah. Cool. I'll take it, YouTube.
There you go. But
what do you got, Tom?
Oh, I got I was up late, so I actually wrote everything that I needed to already. So I'm going to do if the NFL is scripted week 4. That's a good one. So that one's going to be coming out within the next few hours. Stream Monday Night Football. Every NFL fan's reaction week 4 will come out after that. Might have a short today too.
Cool.
So, boom. But folks, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And even I don't know what word.